Year 2 of Pokemon Pocket is just around the corner. With the introduction of the Mega Pokemon, the whole game is going to change. So what better time than the day to rank all 80 trainer cards that are currently in the game. Yes, I said 80. Even I didn't know that we had this many in the game, as a lot of them are just either not played or just kind of useless. Before we get into the video, I do want to say I do appreciate you guys' love and support, and thank you guys for 1500 subs. I really appreciate everything. Yo, what is going on today, guys? As you heard from the intro, we are going to be ranking every single support card slash trainer card, whatever you want to call them. So yes, we have all 80 of them here on this tier list, and yes, that is actually a lot, so I'm going to try to be quick with some of them, and let's just get started. So first one, we have Erica. If you guys know the channel, bro, this is probably my favorite support card in the game. Erica heals a grass type for 50 Pokemon. It's just broken. It's basically the reason almost any grass deck has ever been made relevant, such as obviously extremely strong and stuff like Buzzle, which is like kind of like the most represented one. It's good with Venusaur slash Egg back in the day. Really good with the Leafeon Celebies. And I'm just gonna say it, bro. It's an S tier card. I think the only reason it's not S plus is because it's only limited to grass types. Besides that, healing 50 is extremely incredible and just broken. Next up though, we do have Misty, bro. If you guys do know Misty, it is the only single card that would let you win on turn 1. Obviously, besides like something like a baby Pokemon knocking out another baby Pokemon. But Misty, so we are going to be ranking these a little bit about the past, future, and the present. I think right now I would probably put Misty in around like B or A, just because there is no deck that really takes advantage of it. However, we know what Misty is capable of doing. Mega Gyarados is just right there, and we might be getting some new water types in the new set. I just have to put it in S. I'm going to be honest, I respect it. I'm not going to put it in S plus because it does have that inconsistency. I could see like an argument for A, but just because of what the card can do, you got to put it in S, bro. You have to respect this card because it will come back in the meta at some point. Speaking of like not good cards, bro, because we do have the next one in the line, we do have Blaine. So Blaine, I'm going to put a solid D tier. The reason I'm going to put it in D is because there's basically no card that is good. There is Ninetales. There's something like, bro, what's it called? It's a Rapidash, and there are the Magmars. However, this card really hasn't seen competitive play since like Triumph Light. Triumph Light in the like previous seasons, we have seen some Blaine decks, you know, like the Ninetale versions, top cut. Like personally, in Triumph Light, I actually lost to a Ninetales deck in top 8. I think I ended up getting second maybe in a tournament. It was like somewhere like Ninetales Magnezone deck list because, you know, Celebi Leafeon was very popular. However, ever since like Charizard, Stoke Charizard came out, that's like the only fire deck, and even stuff like Incineroar. So the card is just extremely outdated. Like we have stuff like Red. So like these like decks that have like similar damage range doesn't even have to use Blaine. Like basically any deck has access to Blaine now with the introduction of Red on EX Pokemon. And then the cards are like very squishy and like have like very bad energy management, like because you like theoretically could do Magby. Anyways, yapping way too much for a garbage card. Basically, I can see this card definitely having future potential, you know, maybe like a good Ninetales or Rapidash. Unfortunately right now I'm gonna put a D. Maybe it could even be C depending on how we rank these other cards, but I just don't think it has any potential as of right now. Like I think, like I said, it could have potential, but like as of now, like the potential is basically nothing. Speaking about other card, bro, I'm gonna put Koga in that same range because we could get a really good Weezing, because we have seen cards like Ilima be really strong, like in certain situations, certain metas with RCS decks, and like sometimes Snorlax. I think Koga, we can get maybe better Weezing, and it can have some use in the future. Right now, the Poison Weezing, there's really no reason to run it. Just put Poison Barb in the Helgo. It's kind of a better poison package than relying on a stage 1. So maybe if we get like a Weezing with like a really broken ability, or maybe like a really strong attack, you can have some sort of like defensive solid deck of Koga. Fortunately, right now, like I said, the Weezing that we currently have in the game, I think we actually have 2, but both of them are just really not that good. Anyways, Geo, dude. I mean, Geo is an insta S plus. Like this is one of the best cards in the game. It's the plus 10 damage has only gone up. It's kind of funny because when Red came out, people really didn't play Geo that much. But then like after like the next season, everyone was playing Geo and like Red. Same thing as Red, bro. Sometimes the plus 10 matters on non-EX Pokemon. Sometimes it just matters. It's plus 10 damage, bro. It's actually very impactful in Pokemon Pocket. So I think it's an easy S tier card. Next up we have Brock. So Brock is a weird one where it has seen some meta play with Golem back in the day. And it has energy generation, bro. So like honestly, I don't even know if we need an E tier. I don't even know if anything's going to be an E. Actually, I actually see something that's going to be an E. Brock always has potential. You know, if we ever get a good Golem again, or if we actually get a good Steelix / Onyx package, I think Brock can, you know, be played because energy generation is very broken. I mean, Misty is one of the best cards, and we just see how that, obviously Misty can be higher than 1, but just landing 1 sometimes on Misty is generational and like really impressive. And good. I don't know why I said so many big words to try to explain it why Misty, you know, sometimes it's extremely good just landing 1. However, like I said, bro, I think Brock has future potential. I could almost put it in C, because I think it does have more potential because it is energy generation. Right now I'll put it in the D. Might move it up in the later, but we just need to get a good card. As of right now, this card just does not do anything because both the Steelix and the Golems are extremely outdated. Or I say Steelix is outdated. We just got it recently, but it was pretty bad. Sabrina, dude, I think if you guys know the game, Sabrina is going to be an easy S+ tier. Just, you know, being able to swap your Pokemon out, or like your opponent's Pokemon out to something else. Obviously, they get to choose, but the card has been stable, bro, since Genetic Apex. It hasn't really gone somewhere. Some decks, you know, don't run it because they don't have space. But at the end of the day, it is one of the most stable cards, and it probably will still be meta relevant unless we get something better. Lieutenant Surge is an interesting one because I kind of feel weird just putting everything in D. But I mean, what is there to say, man? As of right now, I mean, you're not playing that Raichu. You're just not playing those cards. Electric decks, you're not good unless you're playing Oricorio, and there's no reason for you to be playing this before Oricorio. I actually almost might put it in E, just because I don't think you're ever going to be playing that Raichu again, and it really only works on that specific cards. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, you're not using this for a Magneton, you're not using this for Voltorb, you're not using it for anything it can be used. Unless you get a new version. I guess, like, if there is a new version, you could technically use it, but at the same time, no, because E-Switch exists. I'm actually going to put this in E because of the existence of E-Switch. So if you guys want to debate me, and like I said, bro, maybe a new card comes out that can take advantage of Lieutenant Surge and it becomes like an A or a B tier card. As of right now, because of E-Switch, I just don't think it's very likely. We have another one, bro. It's going to be Pokeflute, which is going to be the next card. So Pokeflute is an interesting one again, because it only really saw play in stuff like Pidgeotto EX, you know, taking advantage of the bench size on your opponent. Theoretically, you can do something like Greninja Cyrus Pokeflute, that is like a 3-card combo, plus already having the Greninja, which is an extra 2 pieces, which obviously, well, 3 Froakie or Candy plus Greninja. I'm going to put it in C, because I think it is actually a playable card, unlike these cards where like these basically are not played at all. Pokeflute, for all I know, it is like 1 card away, or like 1 deck away from being extremely broken. So I'm going to put it in C to respect it. Next up, we have a Mythical Slab. And Mythical Slab is a very interesting one. It hasn't really seen play since Mythical Islands, when Mewtwo was meta relevant. And obviously like Mewtwo Gardevoir. I think after that, I didn't even see Mythical Slab again. Like, you might have saw it here and there in these like Psychic decks, you know, maybe like some Togekiss decks or something, as like a one of, maybe for like a consistency package. But it's one of those cards kind of similar to Pokeflute. Like, if we get a really strong Psychic deck that really needs consistency, like technically, yeah, you could play this. Like, one of the ones I'm thinking of is Mega Altaria. Combine like Sylveon and Mythical Slab, it might be a way. At the same time, like, Psychics already have Sylveon, like I just said. I don't know if you really need Mythical Slab, but it is a card that theoretically can get played at some point. It's not the worst. And like I said, it actually is playable. Whereas these, if you are playing these cards, you're probably throwing. So I'm going to put it in C, and maybe it never gets used again. But at the same time, like, I think anything like C is not that good, where like the B cards plus up is what is like really the correct sauce, and like the cards that are like always like you're seeing used, or like, you know, whatnot. I feel like I'm kind of yapping a little bit too much and I'm not making any sense, but you guys get what I mean. Next up, we have Budding Expeditioner. So obviously it only works with Mew, and Mew has not seen meta relevancy since, I think, Triumphant Light. I'm pretty sure that's the last time I actually saw it being pretty like meta relevant. However, Mew could technically come back if not Stoke Zard, but a Genetic Apex Zard comes back, you know, to try to counter the Megas with the 200. I'm probably still gonna put it in D, because like these cards, it has no relevancy today. Technically, like, it can be all right because it is just Ilima, and it's like I put Koga in the same thing because Weezing doesn't see play. Maybe we get a better Mew EX one day and it can be meta relevant. I gotta just put it in the D because you just don't see it, man. Like, back in the day, if we were talking like Mythical Island or something like Triumphant Light, probably Mythical Island, like, it'd probably be like a B or an A. But nowadays, nobody plays Mew EX, man. And if you are, you're probably not a Master Ball, which like this obviously tier list is more aimed for the competitive side of the game. That is basically it. Next up, we do have Blue. Blue's a weird one because technically it does not see play. It has seen some competitive play in the past with stuff like Mewtwo and the Gyarados deck back in Mythical Island. Outside of that, I think it, man, maybe I'm lying, but I feel like I kind of saw some relevant play back in like Triumphant Light in the Arceus mirrors. I could be lying and just making stuff up in my head. I'm gonna put a C because along these, it kind of just takes one deck. Like maybe there's a deck that damage really matters. Like what if Mega Pokemon need to run this to live Genetic Apex Charizard if that deck is super relevant? So I think this is a potential B tier card maybe in the future. But as of right now, nobody does play it, but it is usable like the other cards in C. So I'm gonna put a C. Speaking about another S tier card, I'm gonna put okay, so I don't know if I want to put Leaf in A or S, because some decks just do not care about Leaf. For these type of cards, I feel like almost every single deck is running something like this. Where like Erica, every single grass is running Erica. A water deck, besides like Suicune, every water deck in the past has ran Misty. And then Giovanni, a lot of decks run Giovanni or Red. Where Leaf, if you're using a deck that has Leaf, the card is extremely strong and it's probably an S tier. However, it is not like a super staple card because some decks just don't run it. So I'm gonna put it in A. Maybe if we get more stuff in A and I see like Leaf is better, I will bring it down to or bring it up to S. But basically, like I said, bro, because it doesn't see play in every single deck, I'm gonna put it in A. But it's still an extremely strong card. Like anything A and up, like anything A and above is 100% very strong. Speaking about Pokemon, bro, I'm gonna put this as a solid B. I think this card is cool. Obviously, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and I'm personally not a big fan of it just because I feel like I'm always on the receiving or like the bad receiving end of the luck where I get the one card I don't want. However, it does see play in some decks, dude. Thank God I can cut out the stutters because I definitely just stutter so bad. But it's seen like I think the most meta relevant one, bro, where it sees play right now is in Pro. I'm forgetting the name. Flareon. Some Flareon list and not play Sylveon. They play Pokemon instead. But right, like it's a card that's always good. You know, it's a consistency card. However, it is still RNG. I'm gonna put it in a B just because my personal bias, because I don't think the card is too amazing. And you know, not every single deck is running it, but you know, maybe with the megas and we need more consistency, we definitely see Pokemon come back in the addition of people's lineups, bro. Next up, we have Cape. I don't gotta say, bro, plus 20 is broken, and an extra 20 damage is broken. Rocky Helmet, Giant Cape, they gotta go in S tier, bro. Every single deck, I feel like almost has one of these, if not both of them. If you can't play both, I think the only deck that doesn't really play them are these like baby high roll decks that do high damage because you just run all the tech slots to be able to fit the reds, the geos. I think these are definitely S tier cards in my book. And I don't even have to talk, bro. If you play the game, you know how good these cards are. Next up is Lumberry, and I'm just gonna say it, dude. When PCL exists, this card is E. Like, I don't even gotta talk about it, bro. It doesn't do anything. It just heals status conditions, but you have PCL. You'd rather get the plus 30 than waste an item slot. And it's just not good. Cyrus, dude, do we even have to talk about this? This is probably the best support card in the game that's not Professor Research. Being able to bring a Pokemon in of your choosing as long as it has damage on it, bro, is crazy. It's the reason Greninja is as broken as it is. And we just don't even have to talk about it, bro. We know it's so good. Maybe this is disrespect to Lieutenant Surge. By the way, I might actually move Lieutenant Surge up to D because future potential. But Team Rocket Ground, bro, it just absolutely sucks. Like, maybe we get like good versions of like Toxicroak or something in the future and this card spikes up. But as of right now, all three cards that it draws are absolutely terrible. Or at least like Lieutenant Surge has something that is playable. But at the same time, I'm gonna keep Lieutenant Surge still in E. But I think Team Rocket Gun is just extremely bad. Because if you think about it, bro, it's actually kind of a Gladion for that deck. Or like an additional Pokeball. The problem is they just all suck. Like, I'm just gonna keep it real, bro. Anyways, moving on to the next support card, we got Cynthia. I'm gonna put Cynthia B because plus 50 is extremely broken. However, the two cards it runs, they're both stage 2s. One is Dual Energy, which can be a little bit inconsistent. And Togekiss, like, if you can get a fast card that uses Cynthia like Togekiss or Garchomp, you probably just steamroll the game. Sometimes if you don't get it, bro, they can set up and the one Cynthia, like, you just kind of get cooked. So I think it's a very extremely broken card because the plus 50 is ridiculous. However, both the decks that run it are a little bit slow. And they're not really meta relevant. Garchomp, you kind of see here and there, dude. Like, especially last season, you're seeing Garchomp in ranked. Tokugas, I don't even think I've seen that in a while. Yeah, it just doesn't really do, like, the cards just don't do anything. But definitely future stocks, and it is still a playable card. Like, we still do see some people play it as memes. So I'm gonna put it on B, kind of just like Volkner, because we do see Luxray pop up here and there. It's always a card that like pops up for like a week and then disappears, because it has like 1 or 2 good tournaments, because it counters like a very specific deck, and then everybody just kind of counters Luxray again, or people just realize Luxray isn't the most consistent deck, and the dude who played it probably just got extremely lucky. So I think it's a very solid B. You know, if we ever get a good card, once again, 2 energy, pretty good. It's basically the same thing as Lusamine, because these Pokemon that use it probably won't have more than 4 energy. So I just think it's strong. I think it has future potential. And there's not much to say. I mean, we've seen Luxray do good at tournaments, and we still have so many support cards, dude. Dawn, I'm gonna put a B, and this is literally only because E-Switch exists, and most decks that run either fire, water, or electric were the decks that were running Dawn. Dawn theoretically could be A, but I just think E-Switch is so good that I'm going to put Dawn in B as of now. But I could definitely see if a deck that comes out that is not playing one of those types and needs Dawn, for example, a dark deck, because we have seen Dawn in Dark Rive Revival before, I can see Dawn going to A. As of now, I'm going to put it in B with these other cards that don't really see as much play, because like I said, E-Switch does exist. Mars, easy S+, bro. This is one of the best cards in the game. As soon as you lose 2, you do Mars. I can't see Mars though losing a lot of potential if we are in a Mega format, because some people might go in their Mega right away before maybe sacrificing a Pokemon, and Mars is essentially the same thing as a red card. However, in those decks that are not playing Mega Pokemon and they're just, you know, sacrificing an EX, or even if you sacrifice an EX before you Mega, I can definitely see Mars still being meta relevant. It's one of the best cards, because bringing your opponent's hand back to 1 or even 2 when they have maybe 5, 6, 4 cards, and getting rid of their lose condition is extremely powerful. Obviously, sometimes you give them the 1 out of 12 back, but if that happens, it just happens, because Mars is either the best card or the worst card in the game. Next up, we have Irida. Irida, easy S tier. By the way, these are not really ordered, because you can't really order them, but Irida is right next to Erica, bro. It's even better, because it obviously heals 10 less, but it heals multiple things at once. I think Irida is just crazy broken, and I mean, we see it this weekend. There's not really much to talk about. Celestic Talent Elder, bro, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna put a D, because nobody plays it. Like, theoretically, it could be in C along with these cards that have potential maybe in the future by grabbing something. And actually, I'll put it in the C, bro. I'll put it in the C because I'm thinking about Megas, bro. Like something like Mega Blaziken. People might, like, I don't think they are, but like maybe like an Oricorio deck uses this to get a 3rd Oricorio or something like that. So I think it has future potential if a deck ever needs to run it. So I'll put it in the C because it technically is playable in more decks than just the decks that are played in this one. Same thing with Barry. I'm gonna put Barry in C, which is kind of might be surprising if you are looking at this, but I mean, the Barry Snorlax is just better than all these cards. Like, if people still really wanted to play it, like the Barry Snorlax can pop off. And we have seen play. It just kind of doesn't exist anymore because there's like just so much stuff in the meta. But I kind of believe in Barry, and I think Snorlax, like I said, bro, is just better than all those cards in D. So I will put it in C, even though obviously like right now, another card that I probably will put in C is Adamant. I feel like Adamant is one really strong metal type away from being actually played, because Solgaleo, and there's really just been Solgaleo, dude, has really not, like, you didn't need to take advantage of it because you have so much HP and you're usually knocking stuff out when Solgaleo was meta relevant. Obviously Solgaleo isn't. Adamant, I can see if we get a really good maybe mega metal type, because you're going to be extremely bulky. Combine that of Adamant, bro, and like a Lily if you're like a stage 2, even not like even like an Adamant and then like Potion or PCLs in the following turn, you could just be extremely tanky. So I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Adamant saw play in the future. So I'm going to put it in the C because it has future potential more than I feel like the other cards. Next up, we have an Iono, bro. I'm going to put the same range as Pokemon because they're essentially the same thing. I feel like the similar decks do run them. Mainly like Skull Fossil decks run Iono, or like decks that really need like a certain Pokemon to be able to win. Stuff like I've seen some D-Knights tech it in, obviously. Shuffles the hand, sometimes you get it. Bad part about Iono, also shuffles your opponent. Sometimes you give them the God Hand afterwards if they maybe were bricked. So it is a trade-off where sometimes you need to unbrick your hand, but you might also unbrick your opponents, or you might give your opponent a better hand where you don't get what you need. At the end of the day, dude, it's just consistency. It could actually be a card that rises up to maybe A when the megas, if people are really trying to go in those megas fast. But as of now, B, because it's just consistency, dude. And like I said, not a lot of people play it. I feel like I'm saying the same thing. Anyways, PCL, bro. I gotta put it in S, bro. Like all the healing cards just gotta go to S. Like it's like we're seeing it being played. It's really good to get rid of status like poison or even like burns. Obviously burns like don't even come up that much, but just the use of it being there is nice in the future. But like the main thing is probably like poison. Obviously we don't really have a poison deck right now, but like dude, just even the healing 30 is massive, man. Like we have these cards above it that heal 50, 40, and they're good. Even the 30 is still so strong, man. I just gotta put it in the nest here. It's seen playing Dark Tina, bro. See some Warrior Core was using it. Basically any deck that isn't these two, because it's just generic. You have to put it S tier, bro. You have to respect it. Red, same thing as Geo. Plus 20 is extremely impressive. Like you can't talk more. Like I can't. It's plus 20, bro. Like it matters a lot. Like I can't. Like I can yap about it, bro, but there's no point. Everybody knows what it does. TRG, man, I'm gonna be honest, dude. The Japanese and the Asian players use this. They get a buff. I'm gonna put TRG in A because this deck, like theoretically, if TRG always landed 1 or 2, this card is one of the best cards in the game, if not the best card. However, consistency and sometimes you just don't have the space to play it, kind of like Leaf. I'm gonna put it in A tier, bro. This card is extremely broken when it works. Sometimes it's useless, but the decks that usually use it are decks like Savali, which take advantage of just getting the plus 100 on Savali anyways, so you don't always need it to pop off, although you'd probably like to. It's just a scam card, bro. It's like opposite of Misty, and I'm lost to this too many times recently, bro. It's kind of pissing me off, bro. Okay, Big Masala, bro. Best card in the game. No, I'm just kidding. I'll put a D, bro, because I think it's better than the Lumberry, because at least it's an item card and it's not a thing. But like nobody plays this. Everybody just plays PCL. Fishing Net is, I'm gonna put a C, man, because we have seen it being played with the Gyarados Suicune deck, and it has potential in these water decks, like stuff as Gyarados with Gyarados coming out the Mega. So I'll put it in C. But as of like nobody really runs this, bro. It's not the best card. Rare Candy, you gotta put it in S tier, bro. Any stage 2 deck literally plays this. That's not Magnezone. You have to respect it. Rotom decks, it's just E. It's just E, man. It's just not good. I don't even really remember what it does. I don't remember if it looks at your opponent's hand or if it looks at your hand, bro. Just nobody plays it, man. Just nobody does. Poison Barb, not as good as Rocky Helmet. Some decks do take advantage, especially combined with the Helgo. I'm gonna put it in A because I think the extra damage is still strong, just as not as good as the 20 with the Rocky Helmet sometimes. Obviously, sometimes the poison can have a higher damage output over time, but sometimes the plus 20 in the moment is better than the plus 10, plus 20, plus 30 over time. So I'll put Poison Barb in A. Leaf Cape, dude, this honestly, I don't even care. This is an S plus card. Like, I know it is only for grass types, and usually the stuff in this are kind of used by anything, but giving an extra 30 HP is extremely broken, and I really do think the only, like, a lot of grass types are meta relevant because of this card. This card is one of the best cards ever printed. It's going to be extremely broken once we get more good grass type Pokemon, because we really don't have a good grass type in the meta right now. We have like Scam Egg, but that's it. And we have Buzzwole that does its thing sometimes, but it hard loses this weekend, so you rarely see Buzz. I think Leaf Cape is one of the best items. It's one of my favorite items at it because, you know, I love grass types the most. And yeah, it's just ridiculous, bro. It really is just ridiculous. A plus 30, like, it lets you live a Stoke Zard attack on the Decidueye. That's all I gotta say, bro. When it's doing 170, because you have 200 HP. Imagine like a Mega Venusaur or just a Mega Grass type, like 240 HP, bro, for a Leaf Cape, 250 HP for Leaf Cape, then an Erica. You're not killing that thing, bro. If you're not another Mega Pokemon, it's just gonna be crazy. Next up we have, I forget exactly what her name is. It's the one that works on Mimikyu, and I think Palo Sand. Palo Sand is extremely garbage. I think Mimikyu is also bad. I'm gonna put it in D because nobody plays that, bro, unless you're casual, and obviously this is really competitive focused. Ilima, I'm gonna put Ilima in A because Ilima, unlike these cards below, you see some play. It's kind of like similar to Leaf. If you have a deck that plays it, it can be extremely powerful. We don't really have a deck that takes advantage of it at the moment, but I could definitely see like a Mega Kangaskhan freaking Illimaing it is low-key gonna be annoying. But we can get to that when we get to that. And yeah, basically it's good if you have a normal type deck that can take advantage, like, or like you can unbrick like an RC's lead sometimes if you do have room for it. We have Kiawe. I'm gonna put Kiawe actually in B, bro, because I think it's actually really good along with these other support cards. Because like technically, bro, like turn 1 Tornado is still extremely powerful. I'm not even gonna cap it. It just is. 90 damage is nice. We have Guzma, easy S tier, bro. This card is extremely good, whether to get rid of Rocky helmets or giant capes. Poison barbs, obviously, sometimes, and like some other items, which you really don't see. Main ones being these two. Guzma, you want to see it, bro. There's a lot of decks that play it, such as Flareon. It's actually it's not commonly used besides like decks like, you know, Dark Tina sometimes. But because like a lot of decks don't have room for it, but I think it's still an S tier card. Like you could argue A, because it doesn't see too much play, but like I think it's S tier, bro. I think it only has potential as we get better tool cards over time. Lana, it's Araquanid is just bad, bro. Dave, if you are watching this, Dave the Fish, because he's the biggest Lana Araquanid supporter, I'm sorry, man. The card is just not that good. Maybe in the future if we get a better Araquanid, but as of right now, I gotta put it in D. Because let's be real, no one's using that. Same with this guy, bro. Nobody's using this guy. It buffs like Togedemaru Vigavolt. Not good cards at all. Malo, nobody really plays this. I'm going to put it in D as well. We can just kind of skip these three because these three are cards just like, eh. Lily. I want to put S tier, bro. I want to put S tier so bad. I got to put it in S+. I'll put it in S, man. I'll put it in S before all the other healing cards. It's just broken, man. Like, the fact that like a Slogzard could just use, like they always have Lily. Rule number 3 of pocket, Slogzard always has Lily. It's so hard to kill that thing, dude, if they just have Lily Giant Cape. That's not even mentioning all the other stage 2 Pokemon that take advantage of this. Handling 60, ridiculous. We have Beast Wall, man. It's a weird tech item. I'm gonna put it a C because it can see play in the future, you know, maybe, but like maybe something like Guz takes advantage of Beast Wall because of the Mega Pokemon in the future. Maybe Buzzwole as well. It can't see play because both Guz and Buzz are good cards under like the cards in D. However, I've only seen one person play this in like the last 2 seasons. And it was only because I was watching one of my homies in top 100. And the people in top 100 always have weird lists because they're trying to counter specific players in the top 100. So I'll put a Beast Wall, bro, in C. And I think that is a perfect place. Okay, Repel, bro, has went from one of the cards nobody played since like ED Crisis, Buzzwole, Mirror Match text into everybody's playing this card. I could put S, bro, because it might not be like meta relevant, but I think it is an S tier card, bro. It's just a swap card. The user cards are broken. Maybe next set it's not as meta relevant, but it is a card that can always come back in the future when we have a basic dominated format. You got to put it in S+, man. I'm just gonna keep it real. E-Cord, I'll put E-Cord in like B. Some Electric decks play, some don't, man. Not the best. It's not the most common card in these decks, so it's like whatever. I'll put Beast-Side next to Beast Wall because if you are playing them, you're probably kind of playing them in together. Gladion, bro, easy S tier, bro. It's the reason Savali is so strong because the consistency package. Like I could put it in A because it's only for Savali, but like honestly, bro, like Savali would fall apart without Gladion. Looker, man, I'll put you in D. Like sure. Lusamine is an S tier card. This is the whole reason Buzzwole and Guzzlord are even meta relevant. And this can only go up if we get more beast cards in the future. EVBAC is also another S+ card. It's just Geo or Potion combined, which are 2 cards that people do play. I think it's broken. I think it is one of the best cards. Like it's like people are gonna like we're gonna get new evolutions, bro, at some point. And these cards will see play in almost every single EV deck because of how strong they are. So I'm gonna put it in, man. Leftovers, I'm gonna put Leftovers C, man. You just don't want to play it. Just nobody plays it. Now that I'm thinking about it, man, like I'm gonna move Barry down to D. Nah, I'll keep Barry because I still think Barry is better than all these cards. But I'll put Leftovers to C, man. Just nobody plays it. Like I've seen like one Guz list and it was a guy playing Beast Wall. It was a very weird top 100 deck, but it's not standard and most people just prefer Rocky Helmet. We have How, which I'm gonna put C as well because you only really see it with Incineroar. It doesn't really do anything. Like Primarina is not that good. It's not that good with the Decidueye because you just don't have room. I think in the future it can be a good card maybe, but as of now I just know. I'll put like Penny in C, bro, because at least on like Looker, like Penny can still like a good card, and it is like technically playable in Savali. Like I have a homie, bro, Eternal, bro, who ended up playing it in his Savali Rampardos deck. Yeah, I mean it is playable at the end of the day, and it can give you maybe like a 3rd Professor Research. E-Switch, I think we already know E-Switch is an easy S tier card. Reason it's not S+ is because it's limited to 3 types only. But it's just an item card that's done. It's broken. Square Bottle, man, I'm gonna put it in C. because like everything else, like I said, bro, I don't know how many times I gotta say it, is playable. And maybe if there's a fire deck that is meta relevant, we could play it. Still Apron, I'm gonna put C also because it's a card that can be playable. Same with Dark Pendulum. Like all these cards are playable. All it takes is one good Pokemon or something meta relevant to come out and people start playing these. I really think Mega Absol is gonna come out and people are gonna play Dark Pendulum with it. Maybe that's just cope. Scarf is kind of like the same situation. Like we've seen like some Buzzwolves play it and like Wisdom. It's a very weird one. I'm gonna put Wilbro. Like it's just these cards are like potential cards, like low key. I could just even change like to see like potential in the future or something. I'm gonna put Will in A. I think it's extremely strong for the decks that can use it, aka Guzz and coin flip decks, but it's limited to coin flips. But it is extremely good. Same thing kind of like Lyra, bro. But I'm gonna put Lyra actually in B. And the reason I'm gonna put Lyra in B is because the only deck that uses it right now is Dragonite. I do see it getting used in the future, unlike these cards that could be played in like any decks. But as of now, it's kind of like similar like the Iono and Pokemon. If you're a deck that uses it, it's really good in that deck. It's just most decks don't. Like 99% of the decks don't use that card. The only one I literally see using this on the rail ship is going to be Dragonite. So I'll put it in B. Silver is an easy S tier card, bro. This card is extremely broken. Not only does it shuffle a card back into the deck, it actually gives you hand information, which is one of the most like valuable things in a card game. I sometimes just like to see what is my opponent's hand rather than taking a card away. Obviously, it could be really good in this meta, getting stuff like Irida away, but everybody knows how strong it is. It's just the unfortunate thing. Sometimes you just don't have room for it. We have Fisher. I'm gonna put Fisher in C because kind of like similar to the same thing as Fishing Net. It is seeing play in a very specific deck. If we get more water decks that may need to use it, it can see more play. Kind of same. Jasmine, I'm gonna put actually Jasmine in D, bro. Actually, the minus, like, I'm gonna put Jasmine in C because if we do get a better Pokemon that can take advantage of it, it can be better. Skarmory is not the worst card compared to these guys, and maybe we're gonna really good Steelix in the future, and it actually does like more support. So I'll put it in C. Same thing with Hyker. Like we've seen like Hyker Doug Trio. Hyker Doug Trio has been a very meme deck. Sometimes it could also help you get the consistency and find like the Rampardos like Skull Fossil or something. Yeah, I think it's just good, man. I think it is good for those fighting decks that do play it. Anything else, it is not that good. I mean, fighting types are just not the best. So if we ever get like a broken fighting type, this card could be way better. Unfortunately, now we just kind of have some mids. We're almost at the end, bro. We're actually almost at the end. I've been yapping a lot. This is probably going to be a 40-minute video, but at least I'm trying to speedrun so it's not a 2-hour video. Because I could obviously go into a lot more detail, but I'm kind of just like doing the most simplistic explanation of cards. I'm going to be honest, I think Inflatable Boat is going to be A. It's kind of like, you might think like, oh, Lyra is an A or B. Why is Inflatable not one? This is just good for any grass, or not grass types, and water types in the future. It's just a permanent X speed. It's literally a permanent X speed unless your opponent is playing Guzma. And yeah, I just think it's extremely strong, bro. We see it in the Suicune match. It's one of the most common forms of retreat in the Suicune. And yeah, it's very nice. Memory Light is also a potential card. As of now, this card is not seeing any play. Who knows, in the future there can be something that can take advantage of it. Whitney, I'm gonna put a D, bro. Milk Tank is just not good. Milk Tank Darkrai, kind of some sauce. Unfortunately, the deck is really not that good. Traveling Merchant is a card I really want to put in B because I do believe in it actually. But as of now, I think you got to go and C. I think it has potential in the future when we get some more broken tool cards. Because right now, obviously, we have these. But we only have like 1, 2, or maybe 3 of these in the deck. Where like Traveling Merchant, you just, I don't know. There could be a deck that is very heavily tool-based and relies heavily on the tools. Mega Absol, low-key, that might take advantage of this card in the future. But it sees no play. It just sees no play, so I can't put it any higher, even if I want to. Actually, technically, if Kiawe doesn't see play either. But at least Kiawe, like Turtonator, can do something. Like technically, where like if you're playing a deck, I don't know. I just maybe Kiawe is just too high. Maybe Kiawe is too high, and that's what I'm realizing. But I do respect her. Like, actually, bro, like, does Turtonator even do anything in Suicune meta? I gotta pick Kiawe and C, bro. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's potential in future or just meh. And Kiawe, unfortunately, bro, I still think like a turn 1 is scary, but it really doesn't see play. Although I do think it's better than like the cards in D. I gotta move it down the scene now that I'm thinking about it, because like someone like Volker actually sees play. Next up we have Morty. I think Morty also has a lot of potential going into the next set, because you know, changing your opponent's card like hand or like deck did not get what they need can actually be pretty good. And we are getting a new Psychic type Mega, which is Altaria. I think it is a card that can maybe come up in the future. People might play it because, you know, Altaria might be extremely good. However, maybe there's just no room. I feel like it's one of those cards where like if your deck had like maybe like a 22nd or a 2030 or a 23rd deck slot, you would be playing Morty. However, like I said, there's no deck that plays it. And anyways, on to Potion. Potion is an easy S tier, healing the 20. Like every other goddamn healing card is still good. We have X speed. I'm gonna put X speed A because some decks don't play swap cards. I do think it is extremely powerful though. And look, man, like I'll give you D. Pokédex, I'll give you E. Pokédex, I'll give you E. I'll give this one D because it looks cooler. Pokeball is obviously, I mean, I should just have another tier for these cards. Professor Research and Pokeball, you don't even need explanations. Draw 2, find a Pokemon. Final 1, red card. I'm gonna put it S tier. Obviously, Mars is a little bit stronger. The benefit of red card is it is an item card, so you can Professor Research and red card on the same turn. Obviously, Mars just has a higher skill ceiling, with going back to only 1, where red card is always 3. And sometimes late game red card can be useless. Anyways, I think that does it for the tier list, man. We rated all 80 trainer cards, and this is the list. So we have the best cards in the game, which I think are just broken, and you will basically always see these cards as long as someone that can't take advantage. Like I think everything besides rare candy, like Leaf Cape, Lucamine, and EV Bag, you could potentially move them into S. But I think any grass type is going to use this. I think any Ultra Beast deck, and I really expect Guzzlord to still be meta because it's low-key a mega on its own. And I think evolutions will always have a place in the game, whether they die for a little bit or come back. We have all these extremely powerful staples in certain decks, or just staples in any deck, such as Red Geo, and then like Erica for grass decks. We have these cards that are good, and if you have room, or if you have a very specific deck, you will be playing them. They're just not the most common and are not in 100% of decks. We have B, which is very similar, which are cards that are good. However, only very unique decks will end up taking advantage of them. We have C, which are cards that just are at the moment, but they're not super bad, but they're not super great, or they have potential in the future and are not seeing super play. We have D, which are just kind of outdated, which technically some of them could have potential, like Blaine. However, we are just probably not getting anything that are going to take advantage anytime soon. Then we have E, which are, I'll just put Lieutenant Surge in D, man. We have E, which I think are just like the worst. Technically, Rocket Grunt could be D too, but it doesn't matter, bro. D and E are basically the same. These are just cards that nobody really plays anymore unless you are playing casual or in the very low area of ranked. Anyways, let me know if you guys have any different thoughts and opinions. That's it for my tier list. Peace out and have a lovely day as always.